Welcome back to the Three Cricketeers. I'm your host Afnan.
I'm Daha.
I'm Uzaifa.
And there's lots to unpack, lots to unravel in the cricketing world. The Ashes, the India, South Africa series that is just concluded. There's Pakistan tri-series. What do we want to get into first?
I think we should talk about the Ashes. I feel like all eyes are on Australia and England, so we should get right into it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we have seen a lot of cricket, but we have not seen enough cricket because it got ended in 2 days, right? Yeah.
Pretty disappointed.
It is disappointing, yeah. I mean, when, cricket boards are losing $3 million a day
Right.
for not having it, it's bad.
Yeah.
But it was good cricket, right?
Amazing
overall,
cricket.
yeah, overall it was great cricket. Let's get into the first innings. England batted like how they usually do. We'll get into that the basketball way. But then they bowled really well. They got into the game. Stokes picked up a fifer within like 6-7 overs or something like that, which is amazing. Good signs for England in terms of with the ball. Jofra Archer's back fully fit and really ripping into it. Atkinson adding to it, Bryden Corus adding to it. And yeah, I mean, and then Australia's second innings, England's second innings, right? Let's get into that. You topple over Australia, you have a 20 odd or 30 odd lead. You get to like 50 for one. And you are in there, right? You're in the driving seat. You're in Australia. There's no Cummins. There's no Hazelwood. And you're in a good position. But then you get back into the same habits that they have been before. They've been doing before. Yeah. What do you guys think about like the way that England play, the basketball way of playing?
So, I don't know. I have my own opinions about basketball. I don't think English fans are going to like it.
I think they would like it because I think most of them agree with it.
So you think English fans do not see basketball as the way, as the light for English cricket?
Honestly, the way that they've been talking about it on social media, the English fans, they are really upset with the way that England plays.
Yeah, see, funny thing is, I find it ironic how Australia went in, they were all guns blazing. Travis Head, even Morgan Labuschagne came in, hitting those fours and those sixes. It's complete opposite of how England is supposed to play. So I was, it was a great, just a great game, I would say, done by Australia. But yeah, what are your thoughts on basketball? Do you think that's the approach that English team should keep going forward?
Absolutely not. It depends on the conditions, I feel. Let's say it's a flat track, like England makes a lot of flat tracks, or India. So, and Pakistan as well. They make roads. So for those kind of pitches and tracks, 100%. Because you just need to hit the ball. The ball's not going to move. It's not going to do anything. But when you come to like countries like Australia, where there's pace, there's bounce, ball nips off the surface, even South Africa and New Zealand, like you got to adjust yourself according to the conditions. You can't just keep playing the same game. Like test match is all about patience, building up partnerships, and a lot of perseverance. Like baseball, I feel it kind of goes against that because it's all about like attacking and just finishing the game earlier. Test match, it doesn't require that. It requires a lot of technique, a lot of perseverance, I said, and like obviously you need to like read the game well. But I feel with basketball, it doesn't work like that. So they need to England needs to basically learn a lot. Basketball, it hasn't paid off.
Yeah.
Like during these last few years, it has paid off again, like I said, when they make flat tracks, but now when ball starts to move, so they need to learn a lot from that.
I think English team has a lot of talent. You have you still have Crawley, you have Harry Brook in there, you have Ollie Pope, who's a great talent. I feel like he still did very well in the first test match. So, and obviously we have Stokes. We have these guys have the talent. I feel like they could definitely challenge Australia, but right now they're falling short. And I feel like it all goes back to that strategy and that execution. And I feel like for that reason, basketball might not be the best way to go for the team. That being said, what are your thoughts on Australia's performance?
I mean, Australia's performance is exactly what you'd expect in Australia, isn't it? It doesn't matter you don't have Cummins or you don't have Hazelwood, but when you have guys like Scotty Boland, then other guys are chipping in, like Mitchell Starc with a 10-fer. He picked up 7 wickets in the first.
At this age.
At this age, he's been going at it. First innings, he picks up 7. The second innings, he picks up 3. He really topples over the English top 5. And, guys and that's where it kind of comes back to, someone like Joe Root should really get stuck in there. Like, yeah, you have a coach, Brendan McCullum, is basketball, I get that. But you've been playing cricket for like 13, 14 years at the top level. You've played a lot of red ball cricket, 13,000 plus runs. You should know by default, without the coach telling you to play a certain way or not to play a certain way, to know yourself that, okay, this is a vital session in this test match. We have a lead of like 20, 30 runs. Actually, it was like 90 runs at one point. It was like 99 or something like that. And they had that lead. They lose Duckett, and then comes Root. And then at Perth, with so much experience and so much cricket that you've played all around the world, it's not like this was Root's first time in Australia, is it? He's played here before. He should know not to play a length ball cover drive on a pitch like Perth, where the ball is going to bounce. It's never going to be even bounce. You've never seen that Perth.
Yeah.
It's always been an uneven, a faster track. Even Mitchell Stark said, before the first test match, that we would prefer not to play at Perth, but the broadcasters and the people who decided, they wanted to go down that route.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, listen, England has a lot of talent. We've seen it, right? Guys like Crawley, Brook, Root, Stokes, even Jamie Smith, I felt like had a good hand, but they need to figure out a way within themselves without the coach telling them to play a certain way or not. I mean, it happens in other sports too. Managers will tell you what to do, but as a player, you should know when to kind of watch the situation of the game and go accordingly with that. And not a lot of teams come to Australia and they get into a position where you have so many wickets in hand and you have so many runs on the board, right? You have a good, healthy lead. Australians are stressed out. Their media was running stories a day before. And on that day, guys like Usman Khawaja playing golf and Australia maybe not being as strong as they're supposed to be. But then you kind of just play it right back into their hands. I feel like if you're an English fan, I was listening to Nasser Hussain and like Michael Atherton talk about it on Sky Sports, and Stuart Broad as well. They all feel more hurt and upset about England losing because they haven't been in a situation like this in Australia for a while. Yeah, I felt England let down a golden opportunity here.
I definitely think that as well. But I also feel like we shouldn't take that away from the guy, Travis Head, who actually single-handedly won Australia. I mean, not single-handedly, technically Stark played a big part, so did Boland. But in terms of batting, he went in and he completely decimated English cricket, like, the bowling attack. So, I'm excited to watch Travis Head. He's always been, such an exciting player. So that being said, what are you guys' thoughts on the remainder part of the Ashes? What do you think? Who's going to win the next couple of games?
I mean, I'm still going to stick with my prediction. I think I'm going to say like 4-1.
4-1? So 4 Australia, 1 England?
1 England, yeah. I think that's what I'm going to rate it as.
I mean, honestly,
and I'm being generous when I say that.
Honestly,
no offense.
It depends mentally too, because they've lost this game from such a good position. The next game is at the Gabba. It's a pink ball test, and they might just get swooped up over there, right? Like they might actually get mentally hammered there. Hopefully, for a better Ashes, England does fix themselves and come out a lot more calm and collected. And it seems like, they actually know what they're doing. There's a game plan there. But I think for the series, regardless of whether there's basketball or not, you would always back Australia if they're playing in Australia against England.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I'm definitely backing Australia as well. It's not just because I have a preference for them. It's just the fact that they're so dominating, especially in their own home ground with a side that's so attacking, that's so aggressive. I feel like England team has to up their game by a lot. There's a huge gap between their performance versus Australia. So I'm excited to see. I feel like Australia is probably going to take this whole series away. Maybe, like you said, maybe 4-1. So that'll be the best that I'll give to England, at least for this Ashes. So
honestly, I feel other than like there being a gap, like technical wise, I think there's also like a psychological thing with England as well. I feel they always crumble under pressure in Australia. Like you guys have seen that in the past, like coming out from dominant situations and then just giving the game away. That's just been like a common recurring theme with England and Australia, and with Joe Root as well. This guy can perform like really well overseas and other countries apart from Australia. I think he first played his game in 2012 in Australia. He hasn't scored a century since then.
Oh wow, I didn't
And he
know
averages
that.
like around 34, 35 in Australia, bro. Those are not the numbers for the second leading test run scorer in the world.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't justify that. So for me, it's just like psychological as well.
No, that's a great point you brought up. I feel like can't do much about it, like right now. But I feel like England team does have a lot to prove. Joe Root, I'm hoping he puts in more runs on the board. It's always nice watching someone as technically pleasing as Root, perform for his team. So I'm excited. Let's see what the next games hold up. And
I do want to see like Root score a century in Australia as well. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the guy.
That would be a
His
great sight to
technique,
watch.
like, incredible. And since the past 2-3 years, I think he has had like the most number of centuries. And he used to be like with Fab Four, he used to be below the list, but now like he surpassed all of them. So I really like the guy.
In
But
red
it's just
ball
that-
cricket, yeah.
Yeah, but he just has to like prove himself in Australia if he wants to be considered.
But I mean, there are positive signs for England, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
You come to Australia and you bowl like that, you're always going to be in the game, aren't you? Whether it's first innings, second innings, what really matters is whether you're able to capitalize on that. And for that, you're going to need, you look at the dismissals that England has had. Zach Crawley just kind of playing with a close bat and then chipping one straight to Mitchell Stark. Then
That was a great cast, though.
yeah, obviously,
That's a great catch.
it's Australia. They catch everything,
Yeah.
but that doesn't excuse the awful shot that he's played. And he was groomed to play in the Ashes in Australia. He has a lot to prove. Like, this was specifically why they brought him over the past 3 years. Then guys like Harry Brook is another good example. He's like 25 or 26. He needs to start coming into his own. There's Root right now, yes, but Root is not going to be there forever. And you're seeing a sign when Root doesn't perform, Brook is not able to step up, and he needs to do better than that. It's not as simple as you come down the wicket, you hit Boland over extra cover for a 6, and your job is done. It's Test match cricket. You're gonna need to bat more.
Once again, it goes beyond basketball, right?
Yeah.
So all to said, excited to watch the remaining part of the game, part of the series. So yeah, let's see where it goes.
All right, let's move continents. Let's go from the Australia, New Zealand part of the world, and let's get into the subcontinent.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
There's only one thing to talk about: India, South Africa,
Ooh.
and the kind of beating that India has taken.
They got mauled by South Africa.
That's
another-
a statement, bro. Even being bald.
Another
That's a statement.
home series clean sweep
Right.
in red ball cricket, which is getting out of hand for India because India's been considered a fortress in red ball cricket. They just didn't lose there, did they? And now you're seeing this. You can call it transition. Kambir calls it a transition, but then a while ago he also did not call it a transition. He said there is no transition.
Contradicting
Yeah,
statements
he
right
contradicts himself, and
there. Dude,
I
he's
think-
a politician. What do you expect from the guy?
I mean, yeah, but I think more than that, he's stubborn, right? Isn't he? And you've seen that in his cricketing career, and even after, if you remember 2011 World Cup that happened in Mumbai,
Yeah.
and Dhoni hit the 6, he hasn't got over that people remember Dhoni for that and
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Gambhir. But anyways, getting back into this, his actual ideas and the way that he sets up his team is all-rounder heavy base, isn't it? He needs players that can do everything. But then the thing is, in cricket, it doesn't work that way. Like, not all of them are going to get a chance to do everything.
At least in red ball.
Yeah, at least in red ball cricket,
yeah.
right? You picked up Nitish Kumar Reddy, right? He bowls 4 overs and he bats like less than 10 balls. You're basically playing 10v11,
Yeah.
aren't you? Like, there's no point of having him in the team. Washington Sundar, he played great, by the way. He was one of the more technically good batters that India had in the throughout the series, actually.
For sure.
But then playing in number 3 means you think there's a problem there. You think that you don't have specialists who can play there. I would prefer India pick up another opener. They have so many in Ranji Trophy, and then push KL Rahul to number 3 if Gill is injured. That would still be a lot better. But this approach of not having specialists in the top 6 or having only a few, like Jaiswal is a specialist. Yeah, there was no Gill. Punt is a specialist, you can say, but he plays a very certain type of way. And that's really it. Like, who else is a specialist there? KL Rahul, he has an average of like mid-30s, and that's not good enough. He is now mature enough in his career where he needs to bring that up. He needs to get to mid-40s. He's not that guy who was playing second fiddle to Pujara, to Kohli in the older days.
Right.
He now needs to come into his own and make this team be that experienced player that Jaiswal can rely on. Because right now it feels like, if Jaiswal doesn't score 100 up the order, no one's really gonna do that, right? But yeah, what do you guys think about the whole Indian debacle?
What are your thoughts on that?
Do you want me to go first, bro? I have a lot to say on this topic. Okay, firstly, like, it's about the coaching. Like how you said, like Gambhir just purely relying on all-rounders instead of having specialists. That's always gonna be the demise of your team in red ball. I was looking up some stats from like different players, like Sai Sudarshan. Who else is the guy? Reddy, and there was another one I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting that guy's name. It's not Dhruv Jurel.
I can't help you.
Oh, Washington Sundar, sorry. Yeah. Bro, they all average like a bit under 40 in like first class test cricket. That makes no sense whatsoever. Like, they need to go back into domestic cricket and they need to polish themselves. If you're in a country like India, where there are like batters who are average in the 50s, it makes no sense to include them in the team. Sure, they're really good, but again, they have to like earn their spot, right? So that's one thing. And another thing, the shuffling of the batsmen, like at the top order, it makes no sense whatsoever. Washington Sundar, this guy's played like at number 3, number 4, number 7, even number 8, right? If I'm not mistaken. Dude, like, you need to have some sort of stability, like in a test unit. Otherwise, it's all gonna fall apart. So for me, that's the thing. I don't think there's any game plan. Like, Gambhir's not bringing any game plan to the table, like how Rahul Dravid was. There was a lot of stability with him. Everyone knew their role. Everyone was confident about it. But with Gambhir, the things have been like very, very volatile. Because you don't know who's gonna bat where, who's gonna bowl when. Like, it makes no sense whatsoever.
So what was the basis of Gambhir becoming the coach for the Indian cricket team? I understand he was in IPL, the coach for KKR. They won, obviously.
That's
Is
really
that the
about
only reason why a coach?
Yeah, I mean,
is just
if you
going to
look at
come in?
it, that is really about it, because you look at the inclusion of guys like Sai Sudarshan. He hasn't played that much first class cricket, but he's being picked because of T20 cricket and the IPL.
Yeah.
It's not the best criteria. We've seen it with Pakistan too, picking players based on PSL. It never works out.
It doesn't work.
It never works out. But I think the worst part for Indian fans will be that, the news are coming out that Gambhir is going to be the coach until at least the 2027 World Cup.
Oh, wow.
And it's pretty much locked in. So up until then, you still have a long cycle to go with World Test Championship. He may be a good coach in white ball cricket, but I feel like with India's the type of luxuries that they have at their disposal,
The resources that they
the
have,
resources that they possess, they have 2 to 3 players in every position, and they're all top class players.
They're amazing.
Yeah, so you might not even need a top class coach for white ball
I
cricket.
feel they already had a team for white ball to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
They have Kohli, they have Iyer, they have Pandya.
Yeah,
right? So the team
it's
was already
made. Yeah, it's made. Yeah, you just
100%.
gotta pick it up from there. I
100%.
think most coaches can do that in India. The
Absolutely.
real test was the red ball cricket.
Agreed.
Because guys like Kohli have been really instrumental for the past 10 plus years in red ball cricket for India.
Very
Guys
pivotal
like,
part of
very
Indian cricket.
pivotal.
It was a
Yeah.
mindset, dude. Like, I remember Kohli once said during, I think it was a test match in England, right? Against England. They just have one day to bowl England out, right? This was back in 2021, 2022. And the guy said, okay, these 60 overs, they should feel like hell. Like, he brought that mentality. And he brought that
It does feel
mindset.
like hell for them now.
But now like it's
60
different. Like,
other way
it's
around.
the
Yeah,
other way around.
sticking around for
100%.
60 overs
100%.
feels like hell for India now.
Watching. So that takes me to my next point. India slipping under Pakistan on the World Test champion table.
It has to be a new low, bro.
It has to be. I feel bad for Indian fans because India plays amazing cricket. Like, overall, I would say better cricket than Pakistan. There's no doubt about it. But the fact that you are, losing so badly in red ball cricket, it goes to show that at the end of the day, the T20s, the money that you have invested into these T20 tournaments, it'll only take you that far. After that, trophies like Ranji Trophy, I feel like those are what matters, right? When it comes to red ball cricket. So, let's see where this World Test Championship goes. But as of now, I feel like India needs to up their game by a lot.
Yeah, a lot needs to be changed for India, doesn't it? But I think enough about India because they've been pretty horrendous. But on the other hand, South Africa has been just as good, if not better.
South Africa, we have to remember, they are the champions of the previous iteration of the World Test Championship. So we should never take South African cricket team as lightly, especially when they're being led by someone like Bavuma, who, big things come in some small packages. That guy comes in, packed with a lot of energy, that leadership that I feel like the South African cohort requires. And then bringing that expertise. His batting is amazing too. We always, because his leadership is so good, sometimes you forget that how good of a batter he is. Like, he leads the team from the front, and he does an amazing job at it. So yeah, like, that being said, who were your picks of this series?
Well, I think the first one's got to be what you said, Temba Bavuma. I think he's mentally so strong, isn't he? He's got a lot of stick for his T20 game, and he's not a T20 player.
Yeah.
And he was dropped from there, but then there was a lot of South African fans that were wanting him to get out of the team. They were saying he doesn't deserve to be in the team, he doesn't deserve his spot in the team. But then for red ball cricket, he put all that aside, and then he really brought that group together, a group that doesn't have the likes of Du Plessis anymore, and Dale Steyn anymore, or Morne Morkel, and all those guys that have come before, Vernon Philander. It's a new team, isn't it? Like Marco Jansen, Rabada, and he's really got them together, woven in. They have a game plan, and they stick to it. Depending on conditions, he shows that he's adaptable, isn't he? He brings in Simon Harmer.
That's the greatest thing about him, which I feel like a lot of teams across the international teams do not do. He knows how to switch players in and out without damaging or without exerting a lot of pressure on them. He doesn't keep everyone playing for a whole season. He gauges every game, every situation differently, and executes based on that. So it takes me today, it's completely kind of switching up, but I think when we're talking about red ball cricket and T20, it reminds me of Mitch Starc when he did not play IPL just so he could focus on red ball cricket. And you can see he was zipping the ball, hitting consistent 140 kilometers per hour speed. So I feel like that goes to show the determination that you have towards the longer format of the game, which is truly the essence of cricket. But that being said, you brought up Harmer.
Harmer, I mean, he's been spectacular, hasn't he? He's picking up a 4 for 5 for every single innings now. I mean, it started off at I believe it was Pindi against Pakistan in the second test. He changed that up, and then he comes here. And he wasn't playing for South Africa before. There was like a contract issue with Kolpak and all that.
So what's Kolpak?
I'm not exactly sure what it is, like down to the wire, but I believe when a player from one country like South Africa, he goes on and plays like English county and chooses to play that, they cannot then play for South Africa for that amount of period. So it could be like a 5-year contract, something like that. But yeah, he's now back in there with more than 1,000 wickets in the first class, making a real difference for South Africa, which is unbelievable. There's so much experience, but then you have guys with less experience, but they're getting into their own. Guys like Tristan Stubbs, and Tony De Zorzi is playing a little hand here and there, and then you have Marco Jansen who's picking up a 6 in one innings and then scoring 93. These performances are what really gets the team going, and they make you believe that there's a unit out there that is willing to perform in any condition whatsoever. South Africa has really proven themselves to be extremely adaptable. I think that is the best thing you can say about them. Rabada plays, doesn't play, doesn't matter. They will stick to whatever the conditions require. The conditions required an extra spinner, they bring in Muthuswamy, right? They drop Rabada, he scores 80, 90 odd runs, puts up a lead of like 500 runs. And they beat India by 408 runs, which is
huge milestone.
It's a massive win.
That too with a session remaining as well. Like,
with a session remaining.
I think a lot of people, they were basically I think they were a bit confused regarding if they left it a bit too late, because a lot of them thought that it was going to end up in a draw. But South Africa, they ended up like destroying India, like finishing the over one session before. That's insane. You got to give them props for that.
So I feel bad for the Indian cricket, the cricket fans, especially when they're, in the past you see them literally coming in thousands and thousands in attendance, if not even 100,000. If you were to, I believe Ahmedabad's the stadium that's one of the largest ones. They come in, they have so much passion for cricket, and especially red ball cricket, where you don't see as much crowds across the world. But seeing Indian fans come in hordes and doing so much bringing that passion into the game. It's fun to watch, and it sucks that India lost that bad, and it hurt a lot of Indian fans. So I'm hoping nothing's set in stone yet. Obviously, it's possible for India to still climb up the World Test Championship lead, the table, but they have to do that, I believe.
It's improbable because
the probability is low because they have to win 4-0 against Australia.
I think in total they have 7 games. I believe they have to win 7 out of 9 if they have to be considered for the top 2 spot. If they win 8 out of 9, yeah, I think they're gonna make it.
So you guys have it right there. India's chances in World Test Championship final, obviously slim, but never say never.
All right, let's get into Pakistan Sri Lanka. That happened today, right? Pakistan lost from a position that looked like they were gonna win. Let's talk about.
Who do we blame?
I think it's a mix, isn't it? Like Jamiro was bowling really well. The last bit of death bowling from Sri Lanka really showed up. That's kind of, I guess, Pakistan lacks that kind of death bowling, but that's a different conversation. If Salman Ali Agha is playing well there, right? He's playing really well. He needs to get the strike. But then Fahim Ashraf is hitting a boundary, not really getting into it. And then Nawaz was not able to finish the game alongside Salman Ali Agha. And that's a problem, right? Because what is the whole point of series like this? It's preparation for the World Cup that comes in a few months.
Agreed.
So if you're not able to really close the game out on I believe they played a Pindi, didn't they? Yeah, on a Pindi pitch that was really good. The ball is coming on the bat, and if you can't close out a target that you are very close to, then that is a problem.
I think they needed 20 odd runs in 2 overs with 2 of their set batters. Well, Salman Ali Agha was there, and they had probably, I think, Nawaz on the other side.
Yeah, and then he got out.
They were actually smacking. Like Nawaz hit some really good sixes, and Salman Ali Agha played pretty well as well. So the fact that we're not, once again, this has been a trend for Pakistan for the longest time. They're never able to take it over the line. They will always come close, regardless of what level of game it is. But they always, end up falling short, and that's what I don't understand. Like, is it a captaincy issue, or is it like players, the way that the lineup of the players or the batters? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I feel like it's psychological too, isn't it, with Pakistan? They're not able to close down games properly. They're chased like 180, they'll get within it. And as a Pakistani fan, you never feel like you're comfortable. You're never there, right? Until you genuinely see on the bottom of the screen that Pakistan win, you are not going to believe that Pakistan's going to win.
I've literally seen Pakistan lose in situations where you couldn't think anyone else could lose. So,
but yeah, I mean, I think the batting order is also kind of a problem, isn't it? It's all over the place. You have a number 3 like Babar, and then you have a number 4 like Salman Ali Agha, right? Like they're both players that are cut from the same cloth. You're gonna need 2 different profiles to play. If Babar is scoring at a strike rate of like 130, I know he didn't perform today and Salman performed, but once he gets out, then it's now Salman Ali Agha. It's the same thing. You have 2 positions that, let's say they take up, in one game, they take up around 50 to 60 deliveries, right? Combined. That is a lot. That's 10 overs that you're losing.
It's like half your game.
Yeah, that's half your game potentially that you're losing to a strike rate of like 120, 130. On a good day, that is what they play like, right? And I don't think that is good enough. And then you have Fucker comes at like number 6 sometimes, number 7, number 5, and then Usman Khan is there. Usman Khan's another problem. Yeah, he played well today, but you cannot judge a player based on these kind of games,
right? So I have a question. Do you guys think Usman Khan deserves to be on this team, especially going into the T20 World Cup?
I think you cannot choose if you're in a begging position, right? That's what Pakistan is in, right? You had Mohammad Haris. He was tried and tested in the Asia Cup, did not perform, failed miserably. He's at the team now. Now you have Usman Khan, who's also been given a lot of chances, did not perform. He's now back into the team because you need a wicket keeper. You don't have anyone else. Rizwan is not there anymore, right? But he probably is not even a good enough option. You don't have any other option. Maybe in the domestic you can find someone, but then these are the type of games that you would want to give that domestic player a chance, so then they're at least like prepped up for the World Cup that comes. So, but this is what Pakistan's going to keep. I believe Usman Khan's going to be there. The only thing you can say then, knowing all of that, is that, okay, good, you performed, played at a strike rate of like mid 140, I believe, or low 140s, which I guess is a good sign. But is going to need to continue. He has no pedigree right now. He's going to need to prove himself. One game performance and then letting yourself think that, okay, you know what, I'm safe. It's not going to work out. You're going to need players like Fucker as well to step up, because with Fucker someone, if he performs, if the ball is hitting the middle of the bat, it goes a long way. But if he's not hitting the ball, he doesn't know how to rotate the strike, and that becomes a problem. He starts scoring slowly. But that, I guess, is a overall problem for Pakistan's T20 circuit, isn't it?
Agreed. I feel like almost every batter in our team struggles with rotation of strike, and it's not just right now. I feel like I've seen it since I've been watching cricket. Literally everyone criticizes Pakistan for the rotation of strike, so it's not something that I am surprised of. But that being said, I feel like Fakhr being constantly moved around in the team, Usman Khan's presence in the team doesn't feel like it holds a lot of value, because once in a blue moon, if you're able to score those 30-40 runs, it does not mean that you should be solidifying your position in the team. But unfortunately with PCB, I've noticed if you were to perform once every 10 games, you're just automatically assigned a role in the team. So I'm hoping if he is in the squad for T20, I'm sure he will be. I hope he performs. He performed well against Sri Lanka. So I have high hopes for the guy. I hope he can bring something good to the
he
to the
needs
team.
to bring something, right? Because
he
is the only option that Pakistan can realistically pick right now, because who else do you have in the wicket keeping position?
No, I agree, and there's a lot more I think that we have for Pakistan as a team, especially going into the World Cup, and we'll definitely speak more on this Tri-Nation final series once the final happens, so stay tuned for that.
All right, I think that is it for this one, right? We've covered practically everything. The Ashes, India, South Africa, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. And let me know if you guys like this kind of content, what you guys think about it. Comment down below. Do you agree with some of the points, disagree? There's a lot of conversations that are happening around England, the baseball, Gautam Gambhir, India's batting woes, and all those things. We would love to hear your opinion about what you think. Comment down below, like our video, subscribe to our channel. There's going to be a lot more content that's going to be coming out. There's so much more cricket that is coming. A lot of exciting cricket coming up leading into the T20 World Cup. So just
excited about it, and see you guys next time.